Hey programmers, welcome to your 16th tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to be talking about something called user input, so let's get right to it and make a new class. We're going to go File, New Class, and we're going to call this class Input, and we're going to make sure that we have our main function inside of it because we're going to be running everything from inside this class. So let's start by deleting this line because we're not going to need it. And to get user input, we're going to need to import something called java.util.scanner. And what import means is we're going to be taking some external files and we're going to be needing them to run our code. Basically, java.util.scanner is pre-written code that we can use in our Java program without having to reinvent the wheel every time we want to do something. So we're going to be using something called a scanner, which is a way that we can give user input to the Java program while it's running. So let's make a new scanner, and we do that by saying scanner, and we can call this whatever we like because it's a variable. So let's call it myScanner equals new scanner, and because it's an object, we have to put the brackets at the end and end that with a semicolon. Now there's just one thing left that the scanner needs, and that's where the input's going to come from. So we're going to put in something called system.in, which basically means our keyboard. So we're going to make a scanner, we're going to call it myScanner, and it's going to be a new scanner taking input from system.in, which is our keyboard. Now we can say system.out.println, and inside it we're going to be referring to our scanner object, myScanner, and we're going to call a function called nextLine, which is part of the scanner class. And what that basically means is we're going to get our scanner to wait for the next line of user input, and then we're going to print that out. We can also make a new variable, which will be a string, which can be called currentLine, and that can equal to myScanner.nextLine. Now what that means is we're going to take the next line that the user inputs, and we're going to store it in a string called currentLine. And then what we can do is we can say system with a capital S, system.out.println, and then we can print that value. So there are two ways that we can use the scanner. So now let's run the code and see what happens. Hit run here and click OK. And now, as you can see, if we type stuff down here, it comes up in green. So let's type in, this is the first line. And what the scanner did was it took the first line and it printed it back out to us. So let's recap. We've imported something called java.util.scanner, which is going to give us use of our scanner objects. So we're going to make a new scanner object, and we're going to take input from the keyboard, which is called system.in. Then we're going to make a string, we're going to call it currentLine, and we're going to set it to whatever the next line the user types in. And then we're just going to print it right back out to them. So that's how we can use scanners to get input from the user. Make sure you check out the description for some challenges that I've left for you, and leave your solutions in the comments for everyone else to see. And join me in the next tutorial where we're going to be talking about single line and multi-line comments in Java.